Good Tuesday, everyone, and welcome to this edition of Conversation Daily News. I'm your host, Cyrus Webb. We're glad you all could join us once again. We, of course, have your news headlines coming up on this Tuesday. We have a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. And in today's Entertainment Spotlight, you'll be part of my conversation with singing superstar Jennifer Holliday about her life and career. You don't want to miss that. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with your Tuesday headlines. In international news, Putin declares victory in eastern Ukraine region of Luhansk. Russian President Vladimir Putin on Monday declared victory in the eastern Ukrainian region of Luhansk, one day after Ukrainian forces withdrew from their last remaining bulwark of resistance in the province. Russia's defense minister reported to Putin in a televised meeting Monday that Russian forces had taken control of Luhansk, which together with the neighboring Donetsk region makes up Ukraine's industrial heartland of Donbass. The defense minister told Putin that the operation was completed on Sunday after Russian troops overran the city, the last stronghold of Ukrainian forces. Putin in turn said that the military units that took part in active hostilities and achieved victory in Luhansk should rest and increase their combat capabilities. Putin's declaration came as Russian forces tried to press their offensive deeper into eastern Ukraine after the Ukrainian military confirmed that its forces had withdrawn from Luhansk on Sunday. Luhansk's governor said on Monday the Ukrainian forces had retreated from the city to avoid being surrounded. The Ukrainian General Staff said Russian forces were now focusing their efforts on pushing toward the Donetsk region, about half of which is controlled by Russia. On Sunday, 6 people, including a 9-year-old girl, were killed in the Russian shelling of Slavyansk, and another 19 people were wounded, according to local authorities. An intelligence briefing Monday from the British Defense Ministry supported the Ukrainian military assessment, noting that Russian forces will now almost certainly switch to capturing Donetsk. The briefing said the conflict in Donbass has been grinding and attritional and is unlikely to change in the coming weeks. In national news, 6 dead, 24 wounded in shooting at Chicago area July 4th parade. At least 6 people died and 24 were wounded in a shooting at a July 4th parade in the Chicago suburb of Highland Park, and officers are searching for a suspect who likely fired on the festivities from a rooftop, police said on Monday. Highland Park Police Commander urged people to shelter in place as authorities search for the suspect at the time of this report. Lake County Major Crime Task Force spokesperson said at a news conference that the gunman apparently opened fire on parade goers from a rooftop using a high-powered rifle that was recovered at the scene. He didn't know which building. The police believe that there was only one shooter and warned that he could still be considered armed and dangerous, adding, "He could be in the city. He could be somewhere else." More than 100 law enforcement officers were called to the parade scene or dispatched to find the suspected shooter. Hours after the shooting, with bystanders and media standing nearby, about a dozen officers suddenly dashed from a small office building half a block from where the shooting occurred, crouching at the glass doors before flinging them open and rushing in, rifles pointed inside into a dark foyer. It was not immediately clear why the police had entered the building. Police have not released any details about the victims or the wounded. In more national news, January 6th panel says more people turn up with evidence against Trump. More witnesses are coming forward with new details on the January 6th U.S. Capitol riot following former White House aide Cassidy Hutchinson's devastating testimony last week against former President Donald Trump, saying a member of a House committee investigating the insurrection. The panel already has subpoenaed former White House counsel Pat Cipollone, who investigators remain hopeful will appear Wednesday for a deposition, and said it would also welcome follow-up details from Secret Service members with Trump that day. One representative cited Hutchinson's testimony that Trump wanted to join an angry mob of his supporters who marched on January 6, 2021 to the Capitol, where they rioted, as particularly valuable in inspiring more people to step forward as a committee gets set for at least 2 public hearings this month. The committee has been intensifying its year-long investigation into the January 6th attack and Trump's efforts to overturn the 2020 presidential election. In more national news, flight cancellations ease slightly as July 4th weekend ends. Travelers flying home from July 4th getaways faced flight delays on Monday, but airlines were canceling fewer flights than in the days leading up to the holiday weekend. Airlines had canceled more than 2,200 U.S. flights, and another 23,000 were delayed since holiday weekend travel picked up on last Thursday. Airports were packed. More than 9 million flyers flocked to U.S. airports between Thursday and Sunday, peaking at 2.49 million, a pandemic-era record on Friday, according to figures from the Transportation Security Administration. And finally, in entertainment news, Minions set box office on fire with $109 million debut. Families went bananas for Minions this weekend at the movie theater. Minions: The Rise of Gru brought in an estimated $109 million in ticket sales from 4,391 screens in North America, Universal Pictures said. By the end of Monday's July 4th holiday, it likely had earned over $128 million. The film is on track to become one of the biggest openers ever for a July 4th holiday weekend. Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. It's on time for a message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By. Enjoy. Good Tuesday, everyone. I'm Cyrus Webb, and welcome to Words I Choose to Live By. The only way that evil wins is if you give up on the power of good. So today, let your goodness shine. Have an amazing Tuesday. The original Dreamgirl Jennifer Holliday is featured in today's Entertainment Spotlight right here on Conversation Daily News. For Conversation Daily News, I'm Cyrus Webb with Entertainment Spotlight. Superstar Jennifer Holliday joined me on Conversations Live, the radio show, to talk about her year and her career. It's a bit of our conversation.
Ms. Holliday, I want to begin by talking about this year because you have had such an amazing career overall, but this year you have not stopped. I mean, you have had so much going on. The new single we mentioned, So in Love, that we were playing here on the radio side of our broadcast. And then, as I said, you were revealed as Miss Teddy on The Masked Singer. What has this year been like for you to already reflect on what you've been able to do?
It has been so exciting. And I don't want to get like spiritual and deep on you, but, you know, the pandemic threw those of us, the whole world, into just kind of like a spinning cycle. But for many of us in the entertainment industry who perform live, we had nowhere to go. You know what I'm saying? We had nothing to do. Those of us who do music, and everything just stopped. And so it really wasn't until last year that things started going. Then there was another round of the virus. And so everything got postponed again. People, postpone our concerts or reschedule them or push them all the way off to 2023 because of Omicron. And I'm like, oh my goodness, what's going to happen, And then sometimes you just have to take a deep breath and you have to realize that life is what it is. It's each day at a time, one day at a time. And I don't know, Cyrus, I can't even begin to tell you that I just relaxed and just said, I have to have faith that I have a future. I don't know when it's going to happen. I have to keep my talent together. I always, I still keep my voice together and practice and everything, just so I always be ready. I always tell young people, just be ready, because you never know when that opportunity is going to come.
Cyrus Webb, Conversations Daily News. We thank you all for tuning into this edition of Conversation Daily News. Prepare to get on tomorrow, more news, message from my book, Words I Choose to Live By, and of course your Entertainment Spotlight. Until then, I'm your host, Cyrus Webb, saying as always, enjoy your day, enjoy your life, enjoy your world. Thank you all for choosing Conversation Daily News today. Let's go make it a great one.